channel update. Thought I'd leave the house to do this. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Got these chalk pits just 10 minutes from where I live. That's a nice place to come sometimes. Whether it actually is on a winter's morning, we'll soon find out. But yeah, just wanted to give a small channel update really. Talk about 2024. Talk about discarded bags of poo. It's very windy here, so I don't know if the dead cat on the mic's actually going to have any use whatsoever. But yeah, want to talk about the channel, 2024, highs and lows, and then what we've got hopefully coming 2025. It's weird walking and talking like this. Should do one of those Paul Whitehouse fast show brilliant things. Isn't YouTube brilliant? Everyone gets to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and pretend they're famous. Brilliant! Do you dare walk these steps again? Love this place, have quite a connection to it. Mentioned in a previous video, I think it was about 30 years ago, we had a video camera and we were making these sort of short films. We made this 70s cops TV show, and this is where we filmed our first ever scenes, at these chalk pits here. At that point it wasn't actually open to the public, this place, and there was like a hole in the fence that we all snuck through. But yeah, halcyon days. So yeah, then a few years later, many years later, my young nephew found our 70s cops film online and grew to love it. So years later we ended up making a sequel with him as the main character, and there's this small cliff top just here that I threw myself down for the sake of film and cracked a rib while I did it, so that was really clever. And then over there is a bush where my brother, who was also in the film, he played the main bad guy. At the end of the film, my nephew did a big flying kick and kicked him into this bush where he got impaled. Not actually impaled, it was for the film, but impaled with this huge stick, and we covered him in loads and loads of fake blood. And then he spent the rest of the afternoon really pissed off because I didn't think ahead and bring him a spare shirt, so he had to make the walk all the way over there again, covered in this fake blood, and it looked too real. Like I said, halcyon days. This is going to go well. Sat down in wet chalk. So yeah, 2024 was a good time for the channel. Good time for me. I say good time, there were some lows, and it kind of made me ask a lot of questions about myself, about what I'm doing. But at the beginning of the year we had the lead up to my most anticipated film of the year, which was, of course, if you've been paying attention, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And if you do follow the channel in any way, you'll know that I get very excited about certain projects, certain films, and this was absolutely one of those. And then in March, when it came out, I was lucky enough, really lucky enough, to be able to secure tickets to, it was a cast and crew screening. It didn't have any of the old school guys there, but McKenna Grace was there, Finn Wolfhard was there, James Acaster, and the director Gil Kennan. And talk about lucky, I was fortunate enough to bump into the SOS Ghostbusters, who were just a bunch of the nicest guys ever, who revealed to me they're actually in the film. If you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff since, you'll see that they were extras in the final scene outside the firehouse. And actually got to watch the film sitting with those guys and point at the screen when we saw them, and it was just an amazing time, really amazing time in Leicester Square. But skipping back, kind of what made me feel like this YouTube thing was suddenly worthwhile, and it just pretty much made my entire year. We were queuing, waiting for the stars to come down and try and get autographs, try and get those photo opportunities. And the director, Gil Kennan, came down, and I went to ask for a photo, and he was kind of like, "You haven't seen it yet? Is this going to be your first time seeing it?" And I got this sense, and the rest of the guys, which was like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. He knew who I was. He knew who I was. And I'm guessing they must monitor social media stuff pretty closely, see how stuff is tracking. But he recognised me, which was just insane. Thanked me for my service, for keeping the Ghostbusters name out there, helping to keep the Ghostbusters name out there. And it was just wild, just completely threw me. And then after the film finished, he was genuinely like 10 or 11 rows in front of us. So we went down and spoke to him again and chatted to him and thanked him for making the film. And it was just incredible. And doing this YouTube channel and just being able to somehow weed my way in and get a couple of opportunities like that, and like I said, get to know the SOS Ghostbusters and a few other people in the community through, like, even through Instagram or Twitter, not calling it X. And then when we go to these events and bumping into each other and kind of treating each other like old friends, it's just incredible. And before that, I think it was earlier on in the year, had the opportunity to go on the Yes Have Some podcast, which just completely blew me away. Those guys I'd been watching in the last 4 years, like clockwork, every single show, every single live stream that came up, both Yes Have Some and Toy Anxiety. And they were kind of quite inspirational for me in terms of, I might give this YouTube thing a go. There are reasons I wanted to do this YouTube thing, which I'll go into in a minute, but it seemed so bizarre for them to be all the way over in the US, and then for Craig to reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to do a live stream. And I'd never done anything like that before, ever. And I didn't have a microphone, I didn't have a webcam. I was researching all these ideas about, can I connect the phone up and do it that way, and I think I could. Hello. Every time you go to one of these places, there's dog walkers, snivelling kids everywhere. But yeah, didn't have a webcam, didn't have a microphone, and so panic bought both, which set me back about 300 quid just for this one night, because I was just so excited to do it. And then of course there were time zones, and I was going to be up till like 2:30 a.m. and I normally get up at work sort of 5 each morning, so I was chugging the Red Bull, and then my heart throughout the hour and a half live stream was just like pumping through my chest the whole time. But it was amazing. Amazing for me. I don't know if it was amazing for people that were watching to see this on there. And it might sound like I'm overstating things and whatever, but what a dream to have those sort of opportunities and to kind of meet, I don't want to give them a big head, but kind of, you know, meet your heroes. It's so cool. It's so cool. And then there's lots of other things, just when you go to some of these events, and went to the Royal Albert Hall a few months ago, and these guys recognised me and wanted to have a photo with me, and it was just, it's like, this is great. It's so, well, it's just so funny. And I was with a friend who kind of knew I did a bit of YouTube, and he was just standing in the background thinking, what the, but it was so very funny. And just but I kind of feel blessed that these opportunities have come my way, and these small little moments, just kind of what make it fun. So yeah, with those highs, the rest of it has been quite weird. It's been a bit of a struggle to keep up with demand on some stuff. Kind of wanted to be more as and when, and just a hobby. I still don't intend to take any of this seriously and think that I can make any sort of career out of it. When I first started doing this YouTube channel, it was kind of like a means to an end, really. The end game being next year, 2025. I'm finally going to have the opportunity to get to New York. And I've had this dream for the last 5+ years. I think every time I've been able to go to New York, there's been something wrong, where the Ghostbusters firehouse was under loads of scaffold and netting, or there was some other reason, then COVID hit. But my end game for all this was that I wanted to go to New York, and I wanted to make a video, a vlog of the whole Ghostbusters tour, doing all the film locations and trying to line those shots up correctly and stand in those places where my childhood heroes stood. And it's just been a dream project. It might sound silly, but it's just been a dream project of mine for so long. 2025, it looks like it's actually going to happen. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get there end of April, beginning of May, and do the full tour, as much as I know the full tour. I've done lots and lots of research already. I've been planning this trip for such a long time, and it's such a personal thing for me. It's kind of almost like a pilgrimage for me to go round to these different destinations, locations. And like I said, I just wanted it to be a very personal thing. But yeah, like I said, the end game was that. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, I thought I would start this YouTube channel just so I could get used to talking in front of a camera. I have no confidence whatsoever to do such a thing normally. So I thought that I would just try and talk in front of a camera every now and then. So that's where I kind of hit upon doing the trailer reactions, things like. I have a big love of film anyway, always have. I was a cinema manager for 11 years, worked within the cinema environment for 3 or 4 before that. I have this deep love of film and cinema, and get excited for new films that are coming out. And so yeah, my first ever video was the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife. I saved myself till that came through, and I think it was like August 2020. That was my first ever video, and I think it got like 2,500 views in that first few days. And I thought, wow, this is bloody easy, this YouTube stuff. And then the next one was Venom. I think Venom Let There Be Carnage, maybe, and that got like 60 views. And it was this was before I understood anything about algorithms and how any of it all worked. So any sort of future videos, really, it wasn't kind of for the views. It was kind of out of love for like Ghostbusters mostly, love for film. And like I said, not really about the views, albeit when ones do hit and you get lots, thousands of views and a lot of feedback, and you see your subscriber count go up, you get those endorphins release again, and that's amazing as well. So it's been a weird one for my channel, because it has been primarily a film channel and kind of me geeking out about Ghostbusters and new Ghostbusters toys and things like that. Ghostbusters collectibles, I should say. Toys. But then by proxy, there was an Elvis film that came out, I would say a couple of years ago now, maybe longer. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis film with Austin Butler. And really enjoyed it, and that brought back a lot of memories. So started doing some Elvis watch-alongs, which seemed to take off. And now I have this weekly show called Elvis Sunday that we watch Elvis songs every week that I haven't heard before, haven't seen before. And that has quite a nice fan base to it also. The weird thing for that is I enjoy doing both, but in terms of if I wanted the channel to be a success, it kind of screws with the algorithm of it all, because YouTube is thinking, oh, you're a film channel, and oh no, you're not, you're music, Elvis, what am I pushing for you? And so there's times where there's not a lot of film trailers, etc., that come out. There's kind of been a bit of a sort of barren thing where it seems to be that there's only Elvis videos coming out each week. And so I think that shifts the algorithm on the channel quite a bit. And then I don't know if that pisses off film fans, where they're just like, why have I got this in my feed? Inversely, people that come to the Elvis side of things, if I suddenly start doing movie trailer reactions, whether they're suddenly kind of like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. So there's mixed messages, and there's lots of sort of thought processes about maybe splitting the channel up, but I just don't want to do that and kind of start again. I've kind of got a nice healthy, for me at least, a nice healthy subscriber count there, which I kind of don't want to split up and start again with. Legs gone to sleep. That's no good. And I'm covered in sodden chalk. Excellent. I'm going to stand up. Yeah, we've got a drone now, so doing well. I'm going to move location in a minute. There's a big family here that I know is a public park, but I just wish they'd piss off. They look to be very Daily Mail. And even though they're doing nothing wrong, I've automatically categorised them as awful individuals. Hello. With dogs that they're not controlling. Yeah, this was meant to be a quick video, quick 5-minute. I suspect it's going to be quite a bit longer than that, so I do apologise if I've just been rambling on and on and on. I may have to video this. This guy could fall over any minute. Go on, fall over. Oh no, he looks to be safe now. Damn it. That speaks volumes. One of the guys just called out for his dog, and it was called Cerberus. I think that's another goal for me for 2025. 2024, I seem to have put on an extraordinary amount of weight. I have an office job. I'm sat down most of the time, and I think I like my snacks just that little bit too much. So 2025, certainly before New York, the beginning of the year, I'm going to slam it. I have done in the past, and then it's got to a point where I kind of gave up. But I'm good at losing a good sort of like 20-25 kilos within about a 3-month period. So I'm going to try and do that again beginning of this year, just so I can enjoy New York just that little bit more, walk around without puffing and panting much like I am now, and maybe I'll even do a video about that. We'll see. I might document some of it and just see how it comes out after 3 months. Just something a bit different, screw the algorithm over that little bit more, but it won't be some big drastic before and after thing. Doesn't work like that. But I think if I put it in a form of a project, then I'm more inclined to kind of follow it through. It's very Doctor Who, this place. You can imagine them in the 70s filming their episodes there. They always used to choose a big quarry here, and it looks very much like an alien planet. So yeah, 2025, I will wrap this up. 2025, we'll continue doing the trailer reactions. I know it's considered by some, in terms of content, as low-hanging fruit, and there's no real artistry to doing such a thing at all. But like I said earlier, it's just a way for me to be more confident in front of a camera for this New York trip that's going to be next year. It's a strange one as a rule. I don't actually watch reaction videos too much myself either. There's 3 or 4 channels that I follow. The Real Rejects, Christian Harloff, Struggle Nation, and they're channels that I follow because I'm interested in what they have to say about the film. But there's some real strong personalities there, and I really enjoy watching those. And it is an odd one where I'll watch those and then the YouTube algorithm kicks in and sends me lots more YouTube reactors, and I pretty much click don't recommend channel on every single one. And it's weird because it's a thing I'm guilty of as well. But when those thumbnails come up and it has a picture from the film, and then the guy's just like, or you know, doing their hands on their head or all that kind of stuff, I do look at them and I just think, you dick. But at the same time, I'm absolutely doing exactly the same thing. So yeah, hypocritical Nick, hypocritical Nick. So yes, we'll be carrying on with those. Superman is my most anticipated film for next year. I'm so very excited about that. Christopher Reeve and his portrayal was my favourite since childhood, showing my age now if I hadn't already. Thought Henry Cavill was really good as well. And the new Superman and Lois series has just finished. Tyler Hoechlin, he's amazing, and what an amazing show that was. So really looking forward to James Gunn's Superman. David Corenswet looks to be incredible in the role, just in those small little bits that we've seen, and I'm really hoping that it does well and kickstarts a new DCU, and we get Superman sequels, trilogies, which we never really got with the Snyder stuff. I was really hoping we'd get a Man of Steel sequel rather than jumping straight into Batman v Superman and Justice League and all that. I wanted some more Clark Kent, but it was never to be. But really happy with how the new Superman looks. That's the film that I'm going to be excited about for the next 7 months now. So we'll still be doing those. Like I said, New York trip, hopefully end of April, beginning of May. I've still got to book. I'm just waiting on a friend of mine just to see that it's all very real and we can do it. And then I'm hoping, funds permitting, to go back literally 3 weeks later again with a couple of other people for Ghostbusters Day and actually do that for the first time and just kind of be part of that celebration and that community again, but on such a bigger scale. So that might just be like a short 2 or 3 day trip to New York specifically for that. But that's the plan for 2025, and I'm going to try and document as much as I can and put that on the channel, and also trying to hit into any new Ghostbusters stuff that comes our way. Very conscious already that Jason at Ghostbusters News and YHS and the Interdimensional Cross Rip will have all of that covered, amongst many, many more. But if anything new and exciting comes out, there's some new animations hopefully coming within the next year or so, I'll look to cover that, and hopefully we'll have news of a third film maybe being on its way at some point, a closer to this new Ghostbusters trilogy, if indeed it doesn't go beyond anything further. But yeah, I think that's me. Thank you for anyone that's watched any of my videos, even a second of it, over 2024. Thank you to those that decided to come back. Thank you to all that subscribed, liked. Thank you to those that clicked the thumbs down button. It's still engagement, mofos. I am now going to go home and try and get warm again now. So we'll leave it there. I do hope you'll join me for 2025. Looking forward to catching up with some of you in person again. But for now, from a very cold and desolate, apart from the Daily Mail people, Cambridge, Happy New Year. See you soon. Bye-bye.